Shalom. Live here with the Isupk in Virginia. You live in the scripture breakdown class. Having technical difficulties. The internet is busy. The damn StreamYard. You understand? We in here live now. Let me know if y'all can see everything. All right, we'll give y'all a moment to get in here. You tuned in live. Isupk Virginia. Biblical scripture breakdown class. Of course, like we do every Wednesday, bring your questions. All right, there we go. All right. You on Facebook. Okay. We up. All right. Okay, there we go. We go. So we're here. The Bible, we in World War III. The most popular thing going on in the planet right now. Our oppressor is panicking. They are panicking. They did not anticipate having to be put in the middle of this. They never planned on living life the way that they made life for everyone else. They never intended this. They didn't intend for their lives to be lived out the way that they have made life for the Africans, the Arabs, the Europeans, the Hispanic brothers and sisters in Latin America, the Gadite tribes. They never intended for life to be as hard for them as they have made it for everyone else. Listening to their parliament, listening to all of their cries and the defense budget and this and all in Europe and everywhere, talking about how hard and how difficult everything is and they can't pay their bills. The Lord said that he would put it into the hands of them that have afflicted thee in Isaiah. In Isaiah, that 51st chapter, the Lord said that things would turn upside down. The oppressor's world is coming to an end. Their society is crumbling. This war in Europe, this war in Ukraine is showing that the good old white protection that they had from being someplace separate, from being in distant lands, from starting wars in other people's countries, in other people's lands, bombing them, sending their fighter jets and their warriors, you understand? Like all of that protection that they had is gone. They're feeling how they have made the world to feel. That's that prophecy that we read in Isaiah saying, is this the man that have caused nations to tremble? This is the man that weakened the world's economies, that destroyed everything, that weakened their economies, that made the earth to tremble, that made the earth unbearable for everyone. Like, is this the man? You understand? They're starting to see and get a good look at all the high and mighty powerful people. That complexion for the protection does not work when you have the devil fighting against the devil. That's what you got right now in Ukraine. That's why the scriptures say, can Satan cast out Satan? The man of sin, the devil that the Bible speaks of, is Esau, the oppressor, the so-called white man. You understand? And his empire is coming to an end. And they are feeling the pressure. They're feeling the pinch. And to hear them panic is a glorious thing in the sight of the Most High. It's a glorious thing. You understand? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 51. And we're going to go to verse 20. This is what the Lord said. The Lord said, thy sons have fainted. Our sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets. This is why you go outside, you see black men standing on the street corner. All throughout the 80s, the 90s, all in front of the corner stores, all gathered out in front of your building, in the corners of the building, all in the stairways and the hallways. This is a spiritual thing because as a people, we have fainted. We've listened to Christian preachers and motivational speakers masquerading as religious leaders in Islam like Farrakhan and Kemet and all of these people who came to hustle and scam our people to take their money while they get rich, and we suffered and died believing in their silly ideologies and false hopes, when really they're just selling our people dreams, drugs, lies, and all kind of things that could do nothing to fix the problems that we have. You understand? And the Lord said they lied the head of all the streets. As a wild bull in the net. Philly, they call him a young bull. Wild bull in the net. The net is a trap. Shalom. Hey, shalom, boy. Just make sure y'all sign in for attendance. The net is a trap. The Lord said they in the street like a wild bull. If you threw a net on a bull, that bull is going to buck. That bull is going to jump up and down. That's why it's called a buck. He's going to jump up and down and run and move around, because he knows that he should not be in this net. He knows that this net is here to do something horrible to him. And our oppressors have set America up to do horrible things to us. And their empire is based on their ability to do horrible things to our people. It's based on their ability to rob, steal, murder us, throw us in prison unjustly, create racist laws to specifically target so that they can mass incarcerate our people and the Hispanic brothers and sisters, you understand? Meanwhile, the exact same legal system makes sure that when their sons and daughters shoot up a school, you understand, or on the loose eating people, that they don't get stopped and frisked or harassed or thrown in jail, searched, all kind of horrible treatment, strict searching kids all at the goddamn school. They don't get that treatment. You understand? And that's why the Lord is saying this, that we get ready to read about in Isaiah. That we're reading about in this 20th chapter. All right? Let's get back to 51. It said, thy sons have fainted, they lied the head of all the streets. Meaning you're going to go to El Salvador, and you're going to see that in the streets of El Salvador, there are brothers hanging out in the streets called MS-13, 18th Street, or La 18. They are in the streets shooting and killing, and a wild bull in a net. You go to Haiti, you're going to see the exact same thing. You go to Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, you go to Brazil, you will find the children of Israel in the same conditions in Atlanta, in Tennessee, in Tampa, in Miami, in Tallahassee, in Richmond, Portsmouth, Petersburg. You understand? Go on the Gadite reservations, East Coast, West Coast, down south. Go up to Canada. You will see that our sons have fainted. The strength that led the previous generations has been sucked out by integration, voting, marching, protesting, and whatever was left, drugs in the Christian church telling us that we are one with our oppressor, has wiped out what little strength that we had, and we have been, our people have absolutely fainted. You understand? Behold, you understand? He said that as a wild bull in the net, they are full of the fury of the Lord. We are filled with the Most High's fury. What does that mean? That means we are filled with his anger. Why are we filled with the Lord's anger? Because the Lord gave us laws, statutes, and commandments that the Christian church told us that we did not have to base our lives on. The Christian church told us that that Bible was a book of suggestions, and that really all you want out of that Bible is really just to get song lyrics, beat the tambourine, sing and dance, and be inspired to go now and be the best slave that you could possibly be for America, for the Christian church, for the Roman Catholic Church, for Spain, for France, for the devil that the Bible speaks of, our oppressor. That is what it inspired our people to do. But that is not what's actually written in the Bible. You understand? What you'll find in these classes is that what you thought was in the Bible, that what you thought the Bible was actually about, from what you've been taught in Christianity, the Bible is completely different. You understand? It says they are full of the fury of the Lord, the rebuke of thy God, of thy power. Meaning your God is sending correction. And our God, all in Baltimore, all in Philadelphia, is constantly, all in Richmond, all in Norfolk. Just this week in Hampton, had 14 people got shot in one day. 4 murders, 14 shot. Like the Lord, our lives are full of the rebuke of God. God's laws on marriage. You understand? It's summertime. Summer is coming. We're going to go over those laws, man. You find yourself out with somebody else's woman, 14 people should get shot. That's what happens. You understand? You out, you throw your man away, you go get you a new man. You understand? The Lord is going to send evil spirits to have everyone get shot this week in Baltimore. Everyone is going to get shot at the Chuck E. Cheese birthday party or at the Easter or Mother's Day celebration, because God gave us rules that the Christian church told us that we could just ignore. You understand? And it says, the rebuke of thy God. Therefore, hear now this, thou afflicted. We are the afflicted. Black man, black woman, Hispanic, Native American, you sisters in here, you brothers. The Lord said, hear now this. Hear this, brothers. Hear this, O Israel. You afflicted with pain, afflicted with, you understand, trying to pay bills and have a family by yourself, afflicted by the racist laws that raise rent and don't raise your pay. You understand, afflicted by a healthcare system that is substandard, that we did not get the proper medicine, and afflicted with asthma and diabetes. We are the sickest of all the people in the most advanced country in the entire planet Earth, the richest country on the planet. We are the poorest. We are the sickest. This is what the scriptures mean. The afflicted and drunken, but not with wine. Why does he say that? Because we are drunk as a people, drunk on philosophies, drunk on Christianity, drunk on vote or die. We've been voting since the 60s, since the days of Martin Luther King. And not only has our voice not being heard, but we are also getting killed all the time, everywhere. We're being thrown in prison. Our communities are falling apart. They don't fix a community until they are ready to put us out of the community. That's when they fix the roads. That's when they fix the sidewalks. That's when they fix the potholes. They change the street lights. They get new coats of paint. They bring new equipment, new everything to uplift the spirit of the city once they are able to throw us out of it. That's everywhere. You understand? So the Lord calls us drunken. We've been drunk in America's lifestyle of saluting their flag, of relying on their 911 and their police to make us safe, on relying on their military, been afflicted by their court system. It's designed to separate us and our families, afflicted by its educational system that is designed to make sure that you don't learn anything about being black and Hispanic, that your children learn how to imitate our oppressors so that they can go and live their lifestyles, which kills us in record numbers. You understand? Just like all the lifestyle choices, that lifestyle of being a single mom, America put that in the black woman. That was not how the black community was. It was not like that prior to integration. That lifestyle of being a homosexual was never accepted in the black community. That lifestyle of being a drug dealer and a drug addict, that was not widely accepted. If you were a drug dealer, you were not welcomed and accepted into the community until integration. That lifestyle of being a criminal, where you just run through the neighborhood stealing things, breaking in cars, you were not accepted into the community. No one celebrated you. You weren't a champion because you broke in cars and snatched purses. The men in those communities would hurt you if they caught you. You were not welcomed. You were chased out of our society because the Lord never wanted our society to accept us being criminals and witches and whores and prostitutes and drug dealers and whoremongers and murderers and traitors. That lifestyle of going and having interracial marriages was never accepted in our communities. You were not accepted in the white community, and you were not accepted in the black and Hispanic community. Integration taught us to accept things that were very harmful to our people. You understand? I'm going to get to your question, Sister Kamisha, in just a second. So when the Lord says we are drunken, but not with wine, like we are drunk in the philosophy of Islam, it's something else that we're drunk in. When in reality, the Arabs are the reason we would have never made it to America from the west coast of Africa if not for the Arabs that built the ships. We would have never made it. You understand? The transatlantic slave trade would not have worked. The Arabs built the ships. That whole, I'm an African. We proud Afro-American, Africa, the motherland. We are drunk with that nonsense. We didn't come from Africa. If you go and do actual research that is not by Pan-Africans, you will find, that's what we do in the Isupk. You go and look up from Babylon to Timbuktu, you will learn that there were great empires in Africa, like Ghana, that were set up by the Israelites. There were great centers of trade, of mathematics, economics, goldsmithing, leatherworking. We had so much skill, we surpassed and outclassed the Africans many times over, especially the West Africans. You understand? That is why we were fighting them up until the point that we started to integrate and befriend and allow them amongst us, just like the Bible said not to do in Deuteronomy and Genesis. And we joined and we allowed them amongst us. And like any good heathen does, they will exploit us to no end, learn our ways, learn our techniques, get our technology, our mathematics. If you read the book of From Babylon to Timbuktu, page 84 and page 90, what we were doing in Africa was so revolutionary to the continent of Africa, especially the West Coast, that when the white man got access to Africa, the general Leo Scipius Africanus, for those of you that do not know, the continent of Africa is named after that Roman general. He defeated Hannibal, who was an African military general. He defeated him to gain access to North Africa during the Second Punic Wars. It's all historical fact and record. You can go and look it up. He gained access into Africa. The Africans who we have been fighting since the book of Genesis know full well that we are not their people. We wear clothes. We wash and bathe regularly. We have laws and rules and leadership. We are jewelers. We're doing leather working, iron working, metal smithing, architecture. That is who they came to get in Africa. Because of the disgusting wine, according to the scriptures, that our people are drunk on, that comes from the white man, telling you that you are an African. They made that up in the 1800s so that you would never try to seek to the trail of who you really are as a nation of people, because Columbus was looking for the 10 tribes of the nation of Israel. He was looking for the so-called Hispanics and Native Americans, who are the northern tribes of the nation of Israel, because they have been separated from the southern tribes, or the so-called Negroes, Haitians, West Indians, Judah, Benjamin. They came and knew that this was us. The Africans knew who we were. The Arabs knew who we were. The white man knew who we were. That is why they stole and enslaved us, because they had the Bible. They knew the records and the prophecies that when we fled from our homeland in the Middle East, these prophecies, the curses would come upon us. And we did not serve the Most High, even though we kept some of our laws, because that is our racial tradition. God's laws, statutes, and commandments is how our race functions. Our people do not function in Baltimore and in Norfolk and in Richmond right now, because we are living a way of life that is different from what our race is compatible with. You understand? So, Christianity, another one. Just the belief that everything is going to be all right. Keep hope alive. Keep voting. Keep marching. Keep pressing on. You know, we are all a part of America. That has us drunk. The Christian church is responsible for feeding us that lie week after week, day after day, church service after church service. When you open up the Bible, in the first 10 or 15 minutes in any class where the real men of God are in the Isupk, you will learn that God does not want you to be a part of America. That's why they have you getting beat up at roadside traffic stops. That's why they pull you over and pull a gun on you. That's why they taking your sons. That's why they strip searching your daughters at the goddamn middle school that we just brought out on the radio show. That's why when you're in their Christian religion, you get molested as a child when everybody's a Christian or a Muslim. That's why your neighborhood is filled with drugs, crack, and heroin when you're a Christian and a Muslim. You understand? That's why your jobs are so few when you're a Christian, because the Christian church helped deliver the black people's economy when we integrated to the Chinese, the Arabs, the Africans, and the East Indians and the white man, and left us with nothing. Like Christianity has filled us with this wine that has made us drunk, that turned your generations later from being black and proud, brown and proud, we together, black and brown together, to now we got pimps. And we're going to whore the sisters out, sell them for money. Then the sisters going to whore themselves out for OnlyFans to get their own goddamn money. We're going to get high and take drugs in the 60s and the 70s and free love revolution, joining America for Vietnam. Yay. Now you come back from Vietnam, you got crack and heroin, you're integrated with your oppressor's degenerate culture. Now, generations later, you're a drug addict, drug user, it's popular, and we're all just comfortable with our teenagers being strung out on drugs and dying of a drug overdose. Weed is comfortable and welcome in the neighborhood as the smoking is welcome and comfortable. Percocets, welcome. It's just a part of being black now. You understand? We dying at 20 is just a part of being black. Getting killed as a teenager is just a part of being black. You understand? Getting molested by your uncle is just a part of being black, Hispanic, Native Americans. Not the uncle, your mom's boyfriend, the basketball, football coach, the goddamn Olympic coach, if you're boxing or doing gymnastics. You understand? Like, this is just a regular part of life as an American, as a Democrat, as a Republican. Having your neighborhood filled with street gangs, raising children by yourself. If you are a woman or a man, that is not our culture. You understand? We are the people who have families. We are the people who have big families. Killing your baby when you get pregnant, that is not our culture. That is us being Americans. Getting rid of your natural hair. So many sisters have such beautiful, wonderful natural hair. And that desire to be a part of America. The next episode's coming up on The Bible is Black. Next week, talking about sisters' hair. Talking about hair. Black woman, your hair is in the Bible. Not every sister, but talking about hair is in the Bible. It's in the scriptures. That's why we have the series to show you that the Bible is black in the Isupk, because your whole life in church, the pastor is never going to tell you that the Bible is about being black. It's about being Puerto Rican. It's about being Mexican and El Salvadorian and Brazilian. It's about life on the reservation after the buffalo have been murdered and your people have been conquered and the oppressor has made treaties and broken them. You understand? This is what it's actually about. It's not about everybody coming together and hugging and kissing. It's about putting this Holy Spirit of God inside of you so that you can fight a war that is all around you on all sides. And if you don't teach your sons and daughters, raising them, that there is war on and against them on all sides, they'll end up with weed and wondering why the officers is trying to strip search me on the side of the road because they smell weed in my car when weed is illegal. Because God does not give you permission to smoke weed. Because none of us should smoke weed. And because we do, that makes the Lord be against us. So these animals that hunt us have an excuse to embarrass and violate brothers and sisters and murder them if they resist, and God will not step in to protect us. Because the Christian church filled us with this wine, telling us everything gonna be all right. Clap your hands. He's an on-time God. Yes, he is. He may not come when you call him, but he'll be there right on time. All of these stupid church songs that they have you singing, believing in nonsense. No one is more religious than a Mexican or Puerto Rican or Dominican or an old black lady or a Native American sister. No one is more religious than these 12 tribes. No one. If God is going to answer anybody's prayer, God is going to answer your grandma jumping up and down in church acting a goddamn fool every Sunday, emptying her bank account into a child molesters like Eddie Long all across America. Yet and still, God is not fixing the neighborhood. She's still going in the old folks' home. They're still in her house. Her daughter's still in prison. That's why she's raising her grandkids, because her son is strung out, or he got killed, or he got life in the 80s or the 90s or the early 2000s. God is not with these things that we've been taught. That's why the Lord told the prophet Isaiah to say these things so that we can explain this to our people. Isaiah 51, the Lord said in 21, therefore hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with God, with wine. Thus saith the Lord God. Salaki, thus saith thy Lord, the Lord, and thy God. The word capital Lord is the Most High, Yahweh in the Hebrew. The word Lord means Adawan, leader, power, authority, or ruler. Men, regular human beings, brothers and sisters, can be Lord. That means you have a power, a title of ability and power. Capital Lord, that's the Most High God. You understand? Todo poderoso, Most High with all the power. You understand? All powerful, the Most High. And then the word God refers to the angels. Your ability to have power and strength, those things come from the Most High, that pleadeth the cause of his people. That's why Russia is going to war with Ukraine. That Russia-Ukraine war is spilling over into Poland. They got Russian bombs in Ukraine spilling into Poland. Goddamn Adolf Hitler took his campaign all across Europe. Our oppressors is not used to having war outside of their door. You used to waking up with 10 and 20 shot in the neighborhood, 15 shot at the Chuck E. Cheese at the birthday party, double, triple homicides here and there, couple of shootings at the grocery store, shooting there, shooting in traffic. You are used to this. We are used to this life. But they are not. They're not used to having to run for their lives and flee from their good white homes in Europe the way that we are used to having to pack up and move every time they gentrify a city or the gang violence gets too bad and mommy got to pack up and get her kids out the damn neighborhood or the city. You understand? Like, that's what the Lord is talking about. Like, that's what the Lord is talking about. Okay? So when it says, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine, the Lord pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out thine hand. I've taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling. Like the cup of trembling, that's how we live our life. We live with a cup of trembling. You understand? As many terms for it. They call it damned if you do, damned if you don't. How many of y'all have heard that before? I grew up as a baby hearing that my whole life. Robbing Peter to pay Paul. Hearing that my whole life. How many of y'all heard that before? You got to choose. Is it the car note or the light bill? Is it the phone bill or the gas bill? Is it paying rent on time or is it paying the car note late? Which is it? Which is it? Is it more groceries or is it gas in the car to get back and forth to work? Our entire life, this is a cup of trembling. Headlights in your rearview mirror, are they stop? You understand? Headlights in your rearview mirror. What are those headlights in your rearview mirror? That's 911 emergency services, officer friendly. That's what they told us as a kid. Headlights in your rearview mirror are hands on the dashboard. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. You're going to ride the lightning, boy. Put your hands up. License and registration. You could lose your life. Your son, your daughter could lose your life. Snatch you out the car, rip your goddamn clothes off, and strip search your sisters on the side of the goddamn highway. Showing up at your kids' elementary school, strip searching 15-year-olds at the goddamn elementary school. That's the cup of trembling. It's nowhere. You move to the suburbs. You understand? You get pregnant. You choose it. Am I going to kill this baby or am I going to struggle to take care of this child or another child? That is a cup of trembling. That's not regular life. You understand? That ain't life. The other nations of people, that is life in a war zone. The difference between that and America is they leave their country and come to America and don't live like that. We are here in America, built America, running America for them, and that is life for us every day. 14, 15, 13. The shelter, the cup of trembling. We used to speak in St. Paul's Boulevard. At one point, the people who lived in the apartment complexes on the other side, that is who we would see. And then at some point, all of that was closed, and everybody we saw was just homeless. Everybody. We used to speak in D.C. Everybody homeless. Every city. It's just normal to lose your home, to have to move. Do you know, I didn't learn this until you understand about a year or so in the truth. About a few years, 3 or so years, 4 years in the truth. And General Muhammad had to explain. He said, well, brother, you are not supposed to have to pack up and move. You're supposed to live here where your parents are. And you're supposed to be there. And then you get married. And then you go and you live there. And then you got this place here with this wife. You live here. You got another rib. You live there. That's it. You're not supposed to be packing up and having to move over and over and over again like you in the goddamn military going from Baghdad to Kosovo to Iraq to Iran to Russia. Your life is not supposed to be uprooted all the goddamn time. That's why all your kids is getting high. There's no stability in life anymore. Now that we have drunk the wine of America, life isn't stable. Who is supposed to be raising you? Your mother and your father. Well, our families and relationships is unstable as hell. Ain't been stable since the 50s and the 60s. That was the last generation where everybody stayed together throughout all of our problems. Once we integrated and became American, this is too much. I can't put up with this. I can't deal with this. That's it. How many failed boyfriend-girlfriend relationships have you had since you were 13, 14, and 15? How many boyfriends have you been through all throughout middle school, high school, college, your 20s, your 30s? How many? How many girlfriends, how many ribs and sisters have you been through? It ain't going to work. What happened to, we broke up on, it just didn't work. Damn, what happened with her nephew? I liked her. What happened? It just ain't work out. Damn, what happened? Like, this was not how life was ever supposed to be. But it is how our life is every day. You're not supposed to be short on food. You understand? You don't run out of food. The planet produces food. You understand? They are trees. Pears, peaches, apples, oranges come from a tree. Strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, grapes, they come from a tree. We are supposed to have cities filled with suburbs that are filled with trees if we obey the Most High. But the Christian church teaches us that we don't have to obey God. So the protection, the order, the provision that is in God's laws, how he set it up, never gets to us. Now we eat out of cans. Now we stand in the line to get a card to go shop at a special grocery store with Wick and Tanif. And if they don't take it, then that's it. In Atlanta, they got Section 8 vouchers. And the apartment complex told dozens of families in Atlanta, they told them and said, well, it's not that your rent has not been paid. It's that we don't accept the form of payment that you're paying with anymore. And they just mass evicted everybody on Section 8 out of their homes. And just like that, they're homeless. With all the churches, all the Eddie Longs, all the big highlights, you go down there and get all your good gay fun in the name of Jesus. Tyler Perry Studios, you understand, and Newburgh Baptist Church everywhere. Well, guess what? Because we have not been taught how to serve the Lord, all of that goes away. You're a man of God. You're supposed to have a farm to feed the people. Broccoli comes from the earth. Onions and potatoes and carrots come from the earth. Corn comes from the earth. You're supposed to have land and farms. All throughout the Bible, we were farmers. You understand? The entire Bible is written about herding sheep, herding cattle, farming, working crops. That is what the Israelites did. The whole Bible. We did other things, but that was a mainstay. That's how we took care of Egypt. Egypt was getting the service of the field, the construction. All of those things they were getting, the Israelites were doing. Building their cities, building their roads, building their bridges. The children of Israel did those things. You understand? Like labor is a resource. You understand? Having labor is a resource. Said can't hear on Instagram. Y'all give me a 1. Let me know if y'all can hear me on Instagram. All right. Somebody said they can't hear me on Instagram. Whoever on Instagram, y'all give me a 1. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know if y'all can hear me on Facebook. You understand? Put your 1s up on Facebook and YouTube. Just hit a 1. Let me know if y'all can hear me. All right. The water. Like that's why. Well, it won't work because our people have a spirit that we are filled with. That's why the Bible says, ye are drunk. We are drunk with this idea and this notion that I can live life and be an individual. Like I can be an individual. If I want to get high, I'm free to get high. If I want to steal, I'm free to steal. If I want to rob people, I'm free to rob people. You do your thing, I'll do my thing. That is the dumbest, most unsuccessful. It is the most selfish. It's the most useless idea. If you want to go to McDonald's and get you a sandwich, there has to be a team of people. Someone takes the order and tells the order to who's in the back. If there's no one in the back, there's no one making your order. If there's no one working the safe or the refrigerator, there's no one picking up the food to put in the goddamn restaurant. If you want to get a house, there's a team. Someone has to lay the bricks. Someone has to do the logistics. How much space? How much paint? How much wood? Someone has to talk to the contractors. Someone has to survey the land. Someone has to pour the foundation. Someone has to put up the beams in the woods. Someone got to lay the drywall. Someone has to do the roof. Someone has to inspect electricity and solder the pipes. Everything in life is a goddamn team. You can be the best teacher in the world in the classroom and send the kids home with homework, and no parents read over the homework with them. Nobody makes sure that they practice their numbers. Nobody makes sure that they have good nutrition. Then you will get back, as best teacher that you are, you will get back sick kids with no homework done, that can't read, that can't count, hair not done, food not fed to them, sick as hell. Everything in life works as a team. This notion and concept of all the races of people on the planet, where everyone is a goddamn individual, is only black people. Nobody else. Everybody on the planet is working as a team. The Chinese work as a team. The Koreans work as a team. The Vietnamese work as a team. The Russian white man is on a team. The Ukrainian white man is on a team. The British white man left England and called himself the American white man and started a new team for his people. The Germans is on a team. The Nigerians is on a team that is separate from the rest of the West Africans. The Ethiopians are on a team that is separate from the rest of the East Africans. The Bulls are a team. The Nets are a team. The Lakers are a team. The Dodgers are a team. The Mets are a team. The Jaguars are a team. The Giants are a team. Kmart is a team. Walmart is a team. The pharmacies are on teams. The birds are on teams. There are eagles, there's hawks, there's pigeons. Guess what else? Bacteria is on a team. Rabbits are on team. Rats are with rats. Roaches are with roaches. Mice are with mice. Everything. You go to Africa. The lions are on a team. They don't team up with the jaguar. The elephants are on a team. They don't team up with the rhinos. The buffalo are on a team. They don't team up with the zebras. The gazelles and the giraffes are on separate teams. Everything, everywhere on the planet is on its team, except one thing out of everything that God created, every man for himself. That's these 12 tribes. That's how you know you are God's chosen people. That's how you know. It's in the Bible. That's how you know. No other people. If you gave the Chinese a map and said, this is how we be successful as Chinese, these are our rules to unlock our great Chinese power, the Chinese would pass a law that whoever did not follow these rules, they'd be throwing them off a cliff somewhere, and China would be number one here all the way throughout the whole goddamn galaxy. You understand? It's in right here in Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 4. I'm going to just pull this real quick. It says, and he said unto me, Son of man, this is the prophet Ezekiel, go, get thee to the house of Israel, and speak my words unto them. For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech and of a hard language. This isn't a strange speech and a hard language. I'm not saying things that are too difficult to understand. I'm not trying to break down Mandarin or Chinese. I'm not trying to break down Dutch or German with all kind of weird characters. I'm speaking black to black people. This is not a people of a difficult language. As a matter of fact, our language and the way that we speak and communicate is so revolutionary as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that when you first learn a language, the way that you speak on a regular basis is how we speak in slang. Anybody who comes to America, you start to learn American. You start to learn English. You are not learning the good, proper diction and American English that they're going to teach you in school that you're going to get a spelling test on. You learning, hey, what's up, my man? How you doing? Hey, brother, what's good? Hey, man, what's going on, my man? Sis, don't do that. Oh, you killing it, sis. You not learning America's dances. You learning the Dougie and the two-step and the bob. You learning our culture. You not learning America. Hey, man, I'm just living day by day. I ain't making no, hey, my man. You not learning their culture. You are learning what we made as we popularized being ourselves under the captivity of another nation of people. That's what everybody's learning. You understand? They're not learning. They don't even have to learn America's way of doing things because they are able to create a pseudo society for themselves solely off of preying on our people. The Chinese in America, 20, 30 years, they don't ever have to learn English. They only have to be able to communicate enough with you to see how many wings and how big you want your steak and cheese sub. That's it. They don't have to learn anything else. That's it. What? Salt, pepper, ketchup, 3-wing fry, 4-wing fry, shrimp fried rice, egg roll, spring roll, salt, pepper, ketchup. That's it. And for 30 years, they can continue to be Chinese with each other and only function in a pseudo society just dealing with us for their people. That's all they have to do. A portion of their people will get into the business world and make sure that things are smooth for the rest of their team because they're on a team. Everyone is on a team. And without the Holy Spirit of the Lord, you will not understand the rules that God set up for our team. You understand? That's why it's imperative that all blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans come to these ISUPK classes and don't be a disgusting bastard sitting here so you can go and open up your own fake Israelite business off of our breakdowns that the Lord gave here so that you can go and make your own business. Y'all gonna pay something horrible for that. A lot of brothers and sisters going to lose their life following you in these fake Israelite groups that you went off so that you can get your shine because you didn't want to humble yourself to get in all black and be in order because you felt you should be in charge. That day is coming. It's coming. And it's going to be a terrible day. And it is 100% avoidable if you obey the Lord. But Israel does not learn that way. Most of our nation does not learn that way. You understand? But this is what the Lord sent Ezekiel to say. He said, for thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech and of a hard language, but to the house of Israel, not to many people of a strange speech and of a hard language, whose words thou canst not understand. Surely, had I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee. If I sent you to anyone else besides these 12 tribes of Israel, every other race of people would have listened. Everyone. If you went and told the Chinese today that this coronavirus would be eliminated if nobody ate bats anymore, they would be burning people in the street and publicly executing them for selling bats, capturing bats, tracking bats, if you told them that if you stop eating the pangolin, that little armadillo creature that you think you're going to get magical powers, if you stop eating that, COVID would end. They would be burning those things in the street. They would be hanging people that did opposite of God's divine rules and laws so that they could be number one and nobody had to die. But if you tell God's chosen people, they're going to look at you and say, man, I know you talk about I can't smoke. Shit, I'm going to do me. You understand? I'm going to do me. You understand? I know it say it give cancer. I know my uncle died of cancer. My granddaddy died of cancer. But, you know, at the end of the day, you only live once, man. I'm going to do me. You understand? I can't be nobody but me. Well, listen, brother, you know it's going to kill you. Man, I've been out here in these streets. I've been shot back and forth to prison. You understand? But that's my life. You understand? That's how you live your life your way. Well, listen, brother, what if there's a better way that you can live life so that you don't have to go to prison, so that you don't have to die at 30? What if there's a better way, brother? Man, I don't know. Well, listen, brother, maybe if you stop getting high for a minute, brother, I can teach you about that way. Do you want to die? I mean, it is what it is. You told that to any other people, they would say, okay, we're going to stop this. If we catch anybody doing this, we're going to deal with them on the spot. Man, woman, child, boy, girl, whatever. Overnight. This is what the Lord was saying. Like he's been saying the same thing, telling the nation of Israel over and over again through the prophets. And yet again in 2022, the prophets, the Lord is still trying to teach Israel the same lessons. Except this time, this is going to be the last empire where you're going to get to mess it up. The day for all the evil that don't want to obey the Lord, everybody going to suffer on that same day. That's when that lake of fire is open with thermonuclear war. That's what's coming to America and Europe and everywhere else, man. The Lord done allowed you to understand you're an Israelite. You need to get in these classes. Brothers, you need to get in your all black, get in your boots, get in here and say, I want to be a trooper. Christ is going to ask you what you did with the knowledge of the truth. He's going to ask. If we got time, we're going to get that. I'm getting ready to come to your question, sister in Baltimore, in just a second. He's going to ask. And he's going to say, well, listen, Lord, you know, I appreciate it. You know, I believed. I kept the Sabbath, the Shalom, Lord. But, you know, I just wasn't with all of that. You know, it ain't take all of that. I understand. So you did nothing. You know, I was here expecting a return on my investment. You didn't do anything. So what you thought I was going to say when I came to get stuff and you didn't bring me nothing? You didn't prepare anything. You just did your own thing. You thought those excuses was going, well, you know, Lord, I had my dreadlocks. They was talking about I couldn't cut my dreadlocks. And, you know, well, you know, the dreadlocks, the brothers told you the dreadlocks is the worship of another God. Yeah, you know that, right? Yeah, I didn't really believe so. You worshiping another God, and now you before me with some more excuses. Go get him. Bring hither and slay them before me, that would not that I should reign over them. That's Luke chapter 19. You understand? So nobody can. Okay, Instagram, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start it. I'm going to end it, and I'm going to start it back over. I'm not sure why y'all can't hear me. Just stay tuned. Give me a second. I'm going to end it, and I'm going to start it back over. Everybody's saying they can't hear me. All right. Salaki, y'all give me just a moment. Get this Instagram back up. Checking connection. Okay, y'all let me know on Instagram. Let me know if y'all can hear me now. So like y'all bear with me just a moment. They said they couldn't hear me on Instagram. Smoke the coke and actually live and experience. Right, you can learn. There's a way. What's supposed to happen is we are supposed to learn from the mistakes that we made before. You are not supposed to have to die to learn the lesson that a million other brothers already died from. We're supposed to learn as a people. But the Christianity has taught us that, you know, that's just a part of life. It's not a part of life. We was never supposed to die this way that we are dying now. We was never supposed to suffer the way that we're suffering now. Like, this is a part of life outside of following God's instructions. You understand? That's why the UPK, we get farms. Because, can you hear me now? Piece of Judah, let me know if you can hear me now. You still can't hear. I wonder why you can't hear. It's still no sound. Not sure why. What about now? Can you hear me now? So like, y'all bear with me just a moment. Not sure why. Okay, the StreamYard issue is up. You still can't hear? Okay. You might have to go to YouTube for some reason. I don't know why you can't hear. Use volume. What about now? Can you hear me now? It's coming in clear or no? Still can't hear? Okay, if y'all still can't hear, I'm not sure what's going on. They hear me clear. You might have to go to YouTube to hear the class. Let's go to. Let me see if I can put this in here. Go to No Cowards, Virginia on YouTube. If y'all still can't hear me, go to No Cowards, Virginia on YouTube. And that way you'll be able to see or hear the class. I don't know why y'all can't hear me. Says the sound is up. We have to deal with that after. Go to No Cowards, Virginia on YouTube. You'll be able to see, jump right into live class so that y'all can hear me, all right? Because we got to move on, all right? Just sign in No Cowards, Virginia, okay? So what it's saying there, like, this is what the Lord has been trying to communicate to the nation of Israel. So now we back in Isaiah chapter 51. It says, thus saith the Lord God, thus saith thy Lord, the Lord, and thy God that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling. All of that suffering, struggling to pay the first five, last hired, even the dregs. The dregs is the bottom of the cup of my fury. The dregs of my fury is, you understand, that's at the very worst of it. All of the horrible things that's in the Lord's anger. On top of this, and getting molested as a child, and being a homosexual, now on top of all of that, is also going to have a drug addiction and end up with dying of AIDS. That's the very bottom of the cup, the dregs, the scrapings of the Lord's fury. Y'all ever had lemonade or freshly squeezed orange juice before? No Cowards, Virginia, it'll pop up. Freshly squeezed orange juice before. All right, hey, shalom, brother. And at the bottom of the orange juice, after you drink all the juice, there's pulp, there's little bits and pieces of the orange, there's little bits and pieces down at the very bottom, whatever the syrup or the seasoning and sugar, those are the very dregs, the scrapings of the Lord's fury. We getting it all. On top of being in the ghetto, not having both parents, I'm in the group home, I'm in the shelter, I'd have been forced to join a gang. Now I get out, I join a gang, no parents, no mom, no dad. They put me on Percocets. Now, on top of all of that, I got no schools. I'm in this group home. I go out, I join the gang, they give me a gun, I shoot somebody. Now I get a life sentence. After growing up in the shelter, no mom, no dad, no parents, on drugs, no way or course of life that I can see how I'm supposed to live. I just get flushed down the toilet. Now I get life sentence at 19 because I killed somebody. Like, this is the scrapings, all of the evil and the pain and the suffering, all of the everything. I done poured my life into this place and I got nothing. I worked for this job, they threw me away. I went and fought for Esau's military. Now my brain then got damaged from all the goddamn war. I can't function in life. I'm in this stupid VA waiting line. I can't get my medicine. I'm seeing all my buddies that then got blown and shot to hell by the goddamn Taliban. And now the police is going to stop me drunk on the street and say he's got a gun and shoot and gun me the hell down. Like, I'm just scraping all of the horrible things. We work to get the house. Grandma and granddaddy work. They go through segregation. They run from the Klan down south to get north enough. They fight and go to war. They get racism in the military, racism in the office jobs. They scrape up their pennies. They buy the house. They sell, they get the house. They have a family. They start a family. They raise kids. They put the kids into school. They doing everything that they can just to make it, going through hell, racism, everything, just for somebody to go and shoot grandma on her way home with the goddamn groceries. Or one of the kids to get into some trouble, granddaddy die or something. Next thing you know, mama's raising the kids. One of the kids sell dope out the house. Somebody else's kids come and shoot the damn house up, kill a couple of the kids, kill one of the grandbabies, shoot grandma in the living room watching Oprah. Now they board the goddamn house up and it just sits. All of that work for nothing. Just suffering upon suffering upon suffering. Like, we've been drinking that cup. Now the Lord is going to take that cup from us, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All of that working in El Salvador, all of that working in Guatemala, all of that working. I can't go to school. I got to get a job. I can't. I want to get my education, but I got to go to work. I got to paint. I got to do this. I got to do that. I'm struggling. But, you know, I still got to do it. I still got to do it. You know, I'm doing this, but now, even though I'm doing it, you know, it's too dangerous. They got the gangs. They got the shootings. They got the police. They got the cartels. We got to flee. I want to take my kids and my family to get the hell out of this place. We got to flee. And now we running. We trying to get to safety. And I get up there to America that's giving $13 billion in aid to this country and to Ukraine and to India for a mudslide and to typhoon and to the Philippines. And I'm running for my life because there are people on the street ripping the face off of women, burning people in vats of oil and gasoline, chopping and hacking bodies up. 20 murders a day in a country the size of Richmond, Virginia. That's how big. And now they're running, and I get to America, and they take my goddamn babies away and put them in dog cages. And I never see them again. They take my wife, and they put her in an INS detention center separate from my sons and daughters. And then they're going to rape the sister and then deport her back to Guatemala pregnant with one of the goddamn babies for the immigration customs officers. Like, we are just scraping the bottom of the barrel of all of the suffering and the dregs in the Lord's fury. Well, the Lord said he's going to take that cup from us, and now he's going to give it to Ukraine. Now he's going to give it to Russia. Now he's going to give it to England and Britain and Spain and our oppressors. Now they are going to drink this god-awful cup of suffering night and day. They're going to have to drink it. The Lord said, behold, I have taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again. We ain't going to drink that no more. We're not living our life just in the Lord's fury, because for the first time in our lives, we are actually listening to the prophet that God set up to learn how to properly live life as a so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American, thanks to Commander General Yahweh. He said, but I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee. I'm going to put it in the hand of them that's killing you at traffic stops, which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over. Like the very spirit, that's why brothers is getting high and strung out. The Lord said, he said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over. Lay down and take it. Take the police brutality. Take the drugs, the crack, the you understand? Take the gun, the violence. Take all of these guns that we get from the Vietnam War and we just dump them in your community filled with angry black kids with no parents. We're going to just put all the MAC 10s and Tech 9s and Glocks and Rugers and old 38 models. We're going to throw them all in your neighborhood and let all your kids kill each other. We're going to make your rap stars that used to talk about fight the power. We're going to take that strength out of them and we're going to pay them to talk about shooting and killing each other. They will get rich. Everybody will be influenced. We'll pour drugs. We'll lock them up for the drugs that we give them. We'll lock them up for the guns that we give them. We'll demonize them in the media. The property value will get low. 20, 30 years, we'll come back, gentrify the whole city for pennies on the dollar. We'll set up everybody that we've screwed over. all across the world, the Indians, all of the Asians and Africans. We will give them businesses in their neighborhood. We'll tell their leaders to tell them to love everybody while they rob us blind, like they said to our soul to bow down, and has laid thy body as the ground, as the street to them that went over. Like that's what our people have done in America. That's why even though you're not even allowed to kneel to be angry at getting murdered at a traffic stop. You understand? Like this is what they say to our soul. You understand? You can't afford no baby. You should go ahead and kill that baby. As a matter of fact, I know you too poor to kill the baby. I'll tell you what. We're going to create a group called Planned Parenthood, and we're going to help take donations from people so that you can get rid of your worthless babies that you cannot take care of or afford. We're going to help you kill your babies. We call it Planned Parenthood. And we'll give out awards, and it'll be started by the same evil Nazi mentality that swept through Europe with Adolf Hitler. Well, you understand? That's what the Lord is talking about. Like that's saying to your soul, bow down that we may go over. Like God didn't intend for life to be this way. But the Lord is now going to make them suffer the way that we've been suffering. And all we have to do is get off of weed. Is get off of cigarettes. Stop getting shape-ups. Cut our dreadlocks off. Stop pouring sisters out. That's all we got to do. Stop celebrating Christmas and Thanksgiving. Come to class and learn. It's a walk. It'll take time. But you keep coming. That's what we do. That's what you have to do, brother. Just cover your head. Come to class. You'll get it. You'll learn. Just keep coming. All right? So the sister, sister here, Kamisha said, can you explain how the 12 tribes came about? Who are our founders and fathers? And how did they make 12 tribes as one nation? Good question. Let me know if you're still here so you can see. Sister Kamisha, you still in here? Coming to your question. All right. Very good question. All right. Jacob. All right. Jacob swear. The 12 tribes came about. Okay, all right, sister there. All right, we can go. So the 12 tribes come from our forefather, Jacob. Jacob was the son of Isaac and Rebekah. All right. Let me see where I get this first. Jacob called his name. Genesis chapter 25. You'll get the birth of Jacob. Jacob was the child of the promise. The Lord told Abraham, you understand? You got Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. From the very beginning, the Lord always intended to create a superior nation of people. He always, from the very beginning, intended for his chosen people to be in charge, to have the power, have the authority, have all of the knowledge and information. He always intended from the very beginning. He gave Adam. You familiar with Adam? Same sister, just type in, let me know. You're familiar with Adam. Everybody's heard of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. Well, in the Garden of Eden, the Lord gave a set of instructions and orders to Adam so that Adam could be in charge of everything. All of the people, all of the land. Adam would be the most intelligent being on the planet because God gave Adam knowledge that no one else on the planet had. Adam was supposed to pass this knowledge down to his sons. And a part of this knowledge was to make sure that his sons never married other nations of people. You understand? Of course, it's like brothers get rich. They get an NFL, NBA contract. They get rich. They sell 1 million records over and over again. Young Jeezy goes to marry Mei Ling from the carryout. OJ leaves the hood. He don't want an old sister from the ghetto no more. He want a white woman. He get Nicole Simpson. Michael Jackson wants Elvis Presley's daughter. He don't want no sister. He want Billie Jean. He don't want Kiki or Shamika or Maria or Jocelyn or Yesenia. He wants Billie Jean, Dirty Diana. So brothers got rich, and then they did exactly what they were ordered not to do, which is to have interracial marriages. So now that we have an interracial marriages, all right, we have an interracial marriages, the Lord needs to separate everyone on the earth because he does not want all races of people together. He wants his prize breeding stock pure and separate. That word pure is called holy. You understand? It's called holy. All right? You want the children of Israel to be holy, to be separate. They didn't mix with the other nations of people. They now started to learn our culture and our heritage and being heathens because the Lord did not make them to have this knowledge. They go and set up to worship the stars, the sun, the moon, the zodiac, all of these type of things that the Lord gave Adam the proper knowledge on what to do with them. They got knowledge they were never supposed to have. They made cultures and heritages for themselves against what the Lord wants. Then comes Lord, he gets tired of it. He sends a great flood, kills everybody on the earth except for 8 people. These 8 people are from a man named Noah. Noah is one of Adam's descendants, great-great-great-great-great-great-grandson, lived a very long time. You're familiar with Noah, I'm sure. The only people that survived this flood that the Lord killed everybody except for 8 people, Noah, his 3 sons, and their wives. He took 2 of all of the unclean animals, 2 of the clean animals, and then 7 of all the unclean animals. So that after the flood, everyone that was not an aquatic creature that lived in the waters when the Lord flooded the entire earth, everyone else that was on that ark, Noah spent many, many years building that ark. Once it rained, everybody died but Noah and his children. After the flood water started to dry up, which happens after every flood, the earth was flooded, the waters receded, life started back over again where we come from, where it began in the first place, which is the Middle East. The Middle East, that's where we come from. That's where so-called Negroes, West Indians, Haitians, that's where the 12 tribes come from. We come from the Middle East. We ran into Africa, and many of us left on boats from the Middle East to come all the way over to North, South, and Central America. Those today are your Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, Brazilians, you understand, all the natives from North, South, and Central America throughout the Caribbean. All right? The earth is refilled back again. The Lord separates all the people in Genesis, the 11th chapter, at the Tower of Babel. Babylon, which is in Iraq, which is still the most fought over land on the entire planet to this very day. There's still wars fought over Iraq. The earth restarts. Now, the Lord separates all people because he doesn't want all people together. He needs to separate to start replenishing his prized breeding stock again. He starts by separating everyone's language, everyone's name. He gives all of the other nations of people in Genesis, the 11th chapter, everyone's name is separated. Everyone's language is separated. They are no longer speaking one language. Everybody has a different language. He then divides up the descendants of Noah and his sons, which it lists after the flood. The whole 10th chapter of Genesis lists all of the men and their families and their sons to repopulate the earth. What happens after that, which you can read in Genesis, the 10th chapter, Genesis, the 11th chapter, they build the Tower of Babel, which is a tower very high in the sky so that they can get up to heaven to fight against God. The white man has built that same Tower of Babel again, you understand, except this time he actually was able to get in space. It's called the International Space Station. You hear Commander General Yohana talk about this all the time. They have rockets, they have missiles, they got laser weapons, all kind of things, because they are preparing to fight against Christ, because according to the Bible, Christ is going to return with 200,000, which is 200 million UFOs, which are chariots of the Lord, with the armies that are in heaven. That's what the word host means host means armies. So when it says the Lord of hosts, it means the Lord of armies. They know that he is coming back because that's what it says in the Bible. That's why Donald Trump made a space military. You understand? Just like Star Trek, just like Battlestar Galactica, all your space militaries like Voltron and everybody else fighting in space. He made a space military so that they can prepare to fight a war in outer space against Christ and the angels. Well, that started with the Tower of Babel so that they can reach to heaven many thousands of years ago. The Lord stopped them from building, changed everybody's language so that they could not understand each other, and he separated everybody on the planet. Then he got down from all the people that's refilling the earth to Abraham. He told Abraham to leave the land of his fathers in the land of Chaldea, which is in Babylon, which is in the Middle East, which is in Iraq. Told him to leave from his family, and the Lord said, I will make thee a great nation. We're going to start over. You're going to be the father of faith to stop worshiping the sun, the moon, the stars. Father of faith. Let me get that. Make thee a great nation. Genesis chapter 12 in verse 2. That's what it says. Genesis 12 and 1 says, now the Lord said unto Abram, his name was not Abraham at the time, his name was Abram, get thee out of thy country, leave your homeland, and from thy kindred, get away from your friends, get away from your family, everybody you know, and from thy father's house, leave your land. You understand? When the Lord calls you to serve the Most High, in many cases, you may need to be separate from your family. Your mothers, your fathers, your cousins, your brothers, your sisters, you may need to get away from them because they serve the gods that worship the sky, like Islam. They serve Christianity and democracy and weed and Percocets and dreadlocks and Newports and LGBT and women's equality and Christian church and voting. They serve every god except the God of the Bible. In order for you to take and learn how to be serious about serving the God of the Bible, the Lord may need to separate you from your family. Christ said this also in Matthew the 10th chapter, think not that I came to bring peace. I came not to bring peace, but a sword, rather division. From henceforth two shall be divided in one house, the mother against the daughter-in-law, the father against the son, two over here, three over there, because they want the customs of their fathers and do not want to serve the Most High, but you do. This is a part of coming into the truth. This is why the Lord separated Abram from his family. Later on, he changed his name to Abraham to make him the father of faith. And this was the promise that he made to him. In Genesis chapter, he said, leave your father's house unto a land that I will show thee. The Lord said, I'm going to give him a land. This land the Lord is going to give him, the same land that Adam had before, back to our original land in the Garden of Eden, except it's not in that state of a garden like it was before, because the Lord shut the earth up from producing that way. You understand? The way to the Garden of Eden is not the way it was before. It's more desert than it used to be. A lot of the land and resources have dried up. It's not the way lush, verdant, and green to support life because of the curses that the Lord put because we disobeyed the Most High. But still, the land of Canaan, all of that land is much better. It's the best land on the planet. That's why everybody's still fighting over it to this day, even though it is not as strong and great and luscious and filled with resources as it was before we sinned against the Lord in Adam's day. So, and before the flood. It was in a much better condition in Abraham's day than it is now because heathen lived there. All right. So it says, Genesis 12 and 2, and I will make thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curseth thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. How does that work? All of the families of the earth are blessed because the children that come from Abraham so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, all of the inventions that make life great come from these 12 tribes. You understand? From domesticating horses to fishing. There's so many things that we take for granted the world uses that were introduced because the Most High gave instructions to Adam. These laws, statutes, and commandments, like quarantine, washing and bathing every day, not allowing sick people around the healthy people, separating yourself after you deliver a child, separating a woman when she's on her cycle, quarantine, waste management, inspecting houses, making sure there's not mold and infectious diseases that are spreading. All of these things now are great widespread medical practices across the medical community, but they come from the children of Israel because the Lord gave us these laws. He gave them to Adam. They became written down. You understand? They were written down on paper. Written down on stone during Moses' time, because the Lord explained to Moses everything that happened when he was in the wilderness for 40 days at the burning bush when he was in Egypt. All right? So now Abraham is there. The Lord promises to Abraham. All right? Abraham has a son named Isaac. And Isaac shall thy seed be called. Genesis chapter 26 and verse 4. You understand? He says, and I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven. The Lord is talking to Abraham. And will give unto thee thy seed all these countries. And in thy seed all the nations of the earth shall be blessed. Genesis 21 and 12. The Most High said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad and because of thy bondwoman. Sarah could not have a child. They found a surrogate mother for Sarah, one of her servants, who was an Egyptian woman named Hagar. Abraham had sex with Hagar to produce a child upon my knees, or upon Sarah's knees, meaning she would be the surrogate mother for Sarah because she could not have a child. She told her to have a baby with her servant woman. Now that son's name was Isaac. But that was not the child that God promised to Abraham and Sarah. All right? The Lord told him, send that child away. That child is Ishmael. He became the father of the so-called Arabs, or the Ishmaelites. And in Sarah, and in all that Sarah hath, said unto thee, hearken unto her voice, for in Isaac shall thy seed be called. There was a younger son named Isaac. That was the child of the promise. The same promise that the Lord gave to Abraham in Genesis, the 12th chapter, it is now being passed down by a heritage to his lineage. That's how things work. The man reproduces the seed. That son reproduces the nation. From man to man, sperm makes babies. That seed is sperm. When you see seed in the Bible, that's what it's talking about. So that lineage from Abraham still is being reproduced. It inherits that blessing and that covenant. All right? So now that covenant is passed down. Your seed is going to be blessed, Isaac and Rebekah. You understand? Isaac and Rebekah have two sons. In Genesis, the 25th chapter, this is the backstory, getting to everything leading up to who Jacob is. An important part about who you are is the lineage of your father. That's a very important thing when trying to understand the Bible. If you don't know the lineage of your father, you don't know who or what spirit is being reproduced in the earth. That's why people still think that Esau is something great and wonderful. They don't know that this is a nation of murderers that come from murderers, and still expecting them to not be murderers like their father was a murderer. But this is the spirit. The seed only reproduces of itself. That's why it doesn't work when we try to be murderers like the white man, because that's not our spirit. That's not what we were produced in the earth to be. That's why the white man will run the mafia for many years, and black people, you'll be the Bloods and the Crips and destroy your own city. And then everyone will get life sentences, and then every other race of people will buy your neighborhood. The mafia will still be able to fix betting and the sports games and baseball and real estate and sewage, waste management. We will have the shelters and prison, because that's not our spirit. We aren't made to be criminals. You understand? You can't be a criminal with a social media account. You can't shoot somebody and then go and tweet about it, and then the police come and pick you up because you're in a video with the gun that you did the murder with. We aren't made to be criminals. That's not our spirit. You understand? So just as a sidebar there, now we're at Genesis, the 25th chapter. Genesis chapter 25 and 23. Sarah is finally able, Isaac and Rebekah. Isaac is the son of Abraham, the same covenant that is passed down from him through his seed. Now, Genesis 25 and 23, Sarah is having a rough pregnancy. She's pregnant with twins. She's got 2 boys, except they're not brothers. They are brothers, but they're not meant to be brothers. God does not want them together. We are in the womb. You got Jacob, who's the forefather of so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, and you have Esau, who's the forefather of the white man, the progenitor of the Caucasians, or the so-called white race. The Russians, the Ukrainians, the Americans, the French white man, the German white man, the Dutch, the British, the Israeli white man, you understand, the Australian white man, who's just the British white man that they let out of prison and then dumped him into Australia, you understand, the white man from Spain, who made all of our brothers and sisters of the Northern Kingdom, so-called Hispanics. That's why they speak Spanish and Portuguese, because of a white man from Portugal and a white man from Spain. All of them are Edomites. While we were inside of our mother as she's pregnant, we are fighting. We are fighting constantly, just like we are fighting now. That's why they're still killing us at traffic stops. We have been fighting these people since we were in the womb together. The Lord never wanted us to be together. They were our enemies while our mother was still pregnant with us. While we were embryos, we were fighting each other. We were never supposed to join them, never supposed to marry them, never supposed to befriend them, never supposed to unite with them, never. From the very beginning, this is how the Lord wanted it. This is important to understand who Jacob is. Let's get some more. All right. So now, Genesis 25 and 23, the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb. The word nation means race. They're 2 different races of people, even though they came from the same father. Just like previously, Abraham had a son named Ishmael, and he also had a son named Isaac. There were 2 different nations that came out of Abraham. One was the child of a bondwoman, and one was a child of the promise that he made with him and Sarah. That's the important child. That other child is not important. You understand? God is not mommy. Mommy will love everybody equally. God does not love everybody equally. Equality is not biblical. The Lord did not give a damn about Ishmael. He was not the child of the promise. The Lord gave him some blessings, told him send him and his mama on their way. The Lord did not want him. That's that. This is not the God you're learning about in church. This is the God of the Bible. You understand? So now, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. The one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. We are a people that is stronger than the so-called white man. That is why we can deal with the suffering and the oppression that I've been naming in the beginning of the class. And if they have to deal with it for 6 months, they go rioting, they set stores on fire, they set a police station on fire, they blow up the Target in Minnesota, they're killing police at the Capitol. You understand? They storming, they want to take senators hostage, they breaking in the Senate, they got Nancy Pelosi hiding, they sitting at her desk, everybody's scared for their life because we are 2 different manner of people. You understand? This is what the Lord was saying. They'll have sex with a dog, have sex with an animal. You understand? They're poisoning the air, they're poisoning the water, they're poisoning space. The same water and air and land that everyone has to eat and drink off of, they'll destroy it because we are a different type of people. They'll go in the woods and try to mess with a bear, try to hunt a lion and hunt a zebra. We won't do that. We're not going hunting for lions, just killing lions just to kill a damn lion to say I killed a lion. We aren't trying to take sharks out of the ocean and whales out of the ocean to put in goddamn SeaWorld. We don't do that. That's not our spirit. We're different. Let that shark stay in the water. Let him stay over there. I'm going to stay over here. I'm minding my business. He's minding his business. That's our spirit. That's not the white man's spirit. You want to go and steal everything from everybody and discover. It's not us. So when the Lord is saying, two manner of people are separated, one people shall be stronger than the other. Then you got Genesis chapter 25. In 25, the first baby came out. He's all red, like a hairy garment. His name is called Esau. White, red, he's covered in fur. He's pink. They call him red, just like they call him a redneck. That's a term. That's where it comes from. You understand they're red. They're not really white. They're red or they're pink. So that you can see the blood through their skin, a curse that the Lord put on Cain for murdering Abel back in Genesis, the 4th chapter, so that everyone can know that this is the murderer on the earth. You understand? Now, you got the second child. After that, the second child is born in Genesis 25 and 26. His name is Jacob. Jacob is the forefather of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. All right? Genesis chapter 25, Jacob is born. So now, Jacob, all right, Abraham, he marries another wife. He has some more kids. All right, but the child of the promise, then Abraham, the child of the promise, bear with me just a moment. Sure, before Egypt, Assyria. This is the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. And then the lineage, Isaac, his wife, because she was barren, Rebecca. This is, you can read a short recap in Genesis chapter, it's 20, back at 25 again. Salakia. Keeps bringing me back to 25. 26. Bear with me just a moment. All right, there's a famine in the land. Isaac, we're going to get to Jacob. Jacob is born. Isaac is still alive. So Isaac is old. Jacob now, he's going to, this thing is just not helpful. Bear with me just a moment. Jacob goes now to take a wife. He grows up. He needs to take a wife. It's time for him to get married, to start a family. He has to go back to the land of his people to take a wife, because the father that he got a child. So even though Abraham and Jacob was Hebrew Israelites, the Most High wanted them to give birth to different nations. No, that's not correct. Abraham, first of all, the word Hebrew just means from the past. All right? Hebrew means the people from the past. Israelite is Jacob. The suffix ite is a suffix. Ite means son of. So when you say Israelites, that means the sons of. You understand? The white man says Hebrew Israelites and black Hebrew Israelites. Just like the white man says Jesus Christ. We know him as Yahushua, Mashiach, as king. Hebrews is not Abraham. Abraham was a Hebrew. All right? All of the children from Abraham's lineage are Hebrew. Being a Hebrew is not something special. Abraham is a Hebrew. All right? Israel is where we come into. Jacob's name, who was the son that was just born in Genesis, the 25th chapter. He was born in Genesis 25 and 26. His name was changed to Israel. Jacob, his name, Jacob means Yaiquab, or to supplant, to run game on, to hustle. That's what Yaiquab means. His name was changed to Israel. That's where we going. That's where we getting ready to get now. his name was changed to Israel. His sons are Israelites. They are the sons of this man named Israel. Let me know you follow me. All of his sons are Israelites, meaning the sons of. His daughters are Israelites. Female is Tess, Israelites. Man is Israelites. All right? If you put them together, it takes the dominant masculine form, which are the Israelites. Israelite just means the sons of Jacob, not the Hebrews, because Lot was a Hebrew. It was Abraham's nephew. Lot's two daughters got him drunk in Sodom and Gomorrah and raped him after they thought that all the people had died in Genesis, the 19th chapter. They made those nation of Down syndrome, mongoloid babies known as the Ammonites and the Moabites, or the so-called Asians. The Chinese and the Japanese, the most predominant families of the Asians. And later from them come the Koreans, the Vietnamese, everybody else, but so that you can understand that's who they are. Those are also Hebrews. The Arabs come from Abraham. That's his son Ishmael. Ishmael is also a Hebrew. There's nothing special about the Asians. There's nothing special about the Arabs, but they are Hebrews. That's why it has nothing to do with being a Hebrew. That's why when we started, it said, in Isaac shall thy seed be called. That's why he got rid of the bondwoman and that son that was Ishmael, because he was not the child of the promise. You understand? The Most High wanted them to give birth to different nations. The Lord said, I will make many nations out of you, to Abraham. That's why the Ishmaelites and all of the Arabs and their sons, they come from Abraham, but they are not children of the promise. That's why Esau also comes from Abraham, the so-called white man. The Esau, or the Edomites, is the brother of Jacob. But the Lord intended for us to be completely separate from the very beginning. So now you have the Edomites, who are also Hebrews, because they come from Abraham and they come from his descendants. Now the children of the seed of the promise is only in Jacob. That's where we are now. The promise that was made to Abraham, I'm going to make a great nation from you. Then the promise that was made to Ishmael. The promise that was made from Abraham passed to Isaac. In Isaac shall thy seed be called. And then from Isaac, not Esau, two nations shall be separated. One is going to be stronger than the other. There's a child of the promise. Jacob is the child of that promise, that the elder shall serve the younger. The younger is Jacob. You're right. It is very deep. This is what our sons and daughters are supposed to be learning, instead of goddamn Martin Luther King and salute the flag and we shall overcome and God bless America and rise for the national anthem and let's get rid of race. This is what we are supposed to be learning. This is our heritage. This is what it means to be who you are. This is where you come from. This is our heritage. This is our Mexican ancestry. Our Puerto Rican, our Dominican, our Haitian, you understand, our Native American, our Seminole, our Afro-American, our West Indian. This is our heritage as a people. Before we went into slavery, before our oppressors named us something different and then separated us throughout the world, this is who we all are. This is why the Lord rose up the prophets to bring us back as a nation so that we can recover our heritage. This was an excellent question that you asked, sister. It is very deep. This is who you are. This is who we are as a people. You understand? This is why you were not allowed to read the Bible as a slave, because it tells you who you are. You understand? So now Jacob goes to take a wife, and he has to go back to the land of his people, because we don't take wives from the other nations of people. Why? Because that has been our custom. We don't marry the other nations, because we need to keep our family line pure. You understand? We need to only take wives and have families with each other. You understand? Not how the white man is having sex with his sister, but we are all related. Once the family is big enough, you got enough sons. One brother has 20 sons. They have sons and daughters. One brother has 20 sons, 30 sons, 4 or 5 wives. Get 20 brothers with 4 or 5 wives, 3 and 4 wives, 4 or 5 wives like Jacob. They popping out 14, 15, 16, 20 kids apiece. 20, 30, 40, 50, and 100 years, we have thousands and thousands of each other. You no longer are just with your brother and sister. You now have filled with cousins, filled with brothers, filled with sisters. These are your distant cousins, your distant cousins. Now there's millions of us, but we are all from the seed line of these 12 tribes, which we're getting ready to get to. It goes back to Jacob. It goes back to Isaac. It goes back to Abraham. It goes back to Noah. It goes back to Isaac. It goes back to before the flood. It goes back to Adam. We are the same lineage that the Lord has been trying to whittle down to only this chosen people, which is where we are now with Jacob. Now Jacob is going to take wives and make sons to continue the promise that was given to his forefather Abraham. Jacob, all right? So now let's see. He goes back to the land of his family with Laban. He works for Laban to get wives from Laban. He works for Rachel. He works for Leah. He wants one sister. The brother tricks him, marries him off to the older daughter. He wanted the younger daughter. This brother's trying to get all of his daughters out the house. Sister's getting old. You understand? This whole being a woman without having a husband, that's not real. That ain't real life. That's how you end up on a telephone pole. Have you seen me? Have you seen me? You ain't supposed to just be a woman just out in life on your own, just living. That's not how the Lord set life up. That's how you get robbed and kidnapped and swindled and scammed. Something wrong with your car. They overcharging you. Something wrong with your house. They're overcharging you. They're running game on you. They stealing. You don't know what's a good man, what's a bad man, what's a good friend, what's a bad friend. You let your child molesting uncle around. You marry. You hang out with goddamn Bobby Brown and Ike Turner, breaking your jaws, stealing money out your purse, selling dope out your house. All kind of problems. The Lord did not make a woman to be in charge of herself. And this brother knew that this was his last chance to get that eldest daughter out of his house to marry her off. So he ran game on Jacob, because that's what Yahweh means. He ran game on Jacob. Jacob ends up marrying Leah and Rachel. When it's time for him to leave the land of his family at Laban's house to go back to his land where he's from, now they say, take your handmaids with them. They had sisters that helped them out. Imagine you and a sister is so tight that this sister will be down with you because she helps your father's business. Your father got sheep. Your father has land. Another brother has daughters. Like, listen, I'm poor. I don't have all of this wealth, but you a brother, you have wealth and power. I want my daughter to come and help and serve in your households. We didn't have jobs and employees where we spent 15, 20 hours a day away from our kids and our family, making some white man rich for us to sit in traffic to get back home to find out your teenage daughter is pregnant and your teenage son is running the streets. He's a gangster criminal blood now. We didn't have that. You were with your family or you went to another family. We worked for each other. That's why we had laws about how to be a boss to each other. Don't oppress your brother. Don't rob him. You can't just be a disgusting bastard that'll have sex with any and everybody, because another brother is going to need to be able to trust you with his daughter. Like I'm going to need to be able to trust you with my daughter, because I'm going to need to give her to you so that you can watch over her for the rest of her life, now that I have raised her these 20 years, so that we can continue to make families and have a nation. But if everybody is selfish and every man for himself, who can I give my daughter to? R. Kelly likes middle school girls. Michael Jackson likes white women. This brother sends sisters to the strip club, get them high on Percocets. Who can I give my daughter to? Because no one's responsible any goddamn more. Our nation has crumbled. That's why we rebuilding to get our heritage back. Y'all don't worry about it. We going over the time tonight. So go ahead, get you some coffee, get you some water. We're going to be in here for a while. All right? Y'all just hang in there. Okay? So now, in Genesis chapter 29, he's marrying sisters. Genesis chapter 29 and verse 20, the brother works out a deal with the father to get a wife. That's what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to go to the father to get permission to speak to that daughter, to deal with that daughter. You and the father work out some deal because the daughter is the property of the father. The daughter is the possession of the father. Not supposed to just be free to just go in the house and tear up everybody's daughter and go on and leave her pregnant with the baby. And next thing you know, she got 3 kids and no husband. And now you in the house raising her and her kids. The whole nation is out of order. You're supposed to go to the father. The father say, no, get the hell away from here. All you do is get high and run the streets. If I catch you around my house trying to talk to my daughter, I'm going to break your goddamn neck. Get the hell out of here. Or this brother, he may be responsible. Let me check him out. Let me see what his work ethic is. Let me get to know him before I present him to my daughter. Because my daughter is going to look and say he's got nice shoes, likes his hair, likes his earring, likes his voice. He plays basketball, and not examine anything about his character to find out that if he get upset, he's going to punch her in the ribs and throw her down a flight of steps. My daughter cannot see this. I can see it. And because I can see it, you won't go to my daughter. You're going to go to me. And I'm going to examine you and see if you are fit to take over my duty as the Lord over my daughter, or if I should protect my daughter from you because you are a disgusting bastard and you will hurt my daughter. You'll put my daughter in danger. You see what I'm saying? It says, but do you think one day we can spend the whole class or a good amount of time so that you can break down this topic about who we are? Well, we certainly can. A little bit more specific about who we are, because that's what all of the classes are. Okay, no sweat. If this is your first time or your first few times hearing it, it's a lot to learn, but all of these classes are explaining who we are. You understand? All of the classes that we have explain who we are. So they're telling us these laws, like Wednesday was the biblical law class, scripture breakdown class. The laws are our identity. You understand? Brotherhood is who we are, how we deal with each other, our high holy days, the Passover that's coming up in April the 14th, the 15th. I mean, the 15th, the 16th. Our high holy days have a lot of the information, the wars that we had with the other nation, where we come from, what we ate, our kings, our records, all of the things that happened to us as a people, our history. We go over all of these things in our school. You understand? If you go to the channel, like we have hundreds of videos on our channel. So if you are signed into YouTube on this same channel, Isupk Virginia, you can go and look and get information about who we are. You know, what city, what state are you in? What city are you in? You in there? Well, you in Baltimore? We got a school in Baltimore. There's a school in Baltimore, classes 6 days a week in Baltimore. You understand? You go to the high holy days, sign into the class, contact the school. But it's a lot of information. Like we're actually learning who we are as a people. Like it takes some time. These are things that you would learn from the time you are a baby, just like you were taught Christmas, just like you were taught Thanksgiving, Mother's Day, Father's Day, birthdays. You were taught these things from the time you are a baby. They teaching you what to eat. You're in your high chair. They putting a little baby spoon in your mouth. They giving you the first time they put some green in your mouth. You taste the salt. Then they give you some chicken. And you do dance. And they giving you cereal. And they take you from the formula. Then you eat this. Then you get macaroni. Then you get greens. Then you get grits. And before you know it, you're learning. You learn how to talk. You learn how to walk. You learn how to behave. All of these things we learn. This is how you're supposed to be raised. That's why when you come into the truth, you are being taught for the first time. You're being taught who we are, where we come from, what we're supposed to eat. These are things that we were supposed to have been taught from the time that we are born. That's why you come into the truth. You're being born again to learn what we were supposed to have been raised in. Had we as the people obeyed the Most High, you would have been raised learning all of these the same way that you learned Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day, birthdays, all of that. So all you do is just keep coming to class. You understand? But it's hundreds, literally hundreds of videos on our page here. You can check out The Bible is Black. We got a series explaining all the black things in the Bible. New series on Black Adventists called The Salt of the Earth. Next week will be the first episode of the Salt of the Earth series. Bible is Black series every week as well. You can check out the entire playlist on this channel, the classes, all of those things. Like you have to. That's why Christ said, except that ye be born again, ye shall not see the kingdom of heaven. That I am grown does not exist in the Bible. That's a Christian concept that Christianity taught us, which really just means that no one can teach me anything. You understand? Not you per se, but that's what that spirit is. That's not in the Bible. You understand? But that's what's supposed to happen. You come, you learn, you understand? You're supposed to be born again to learn how to live life a completely different way than what you learned as a Christian, as a Muslim, or whatever religious beliefs that you were raised in. Now you're being raised by the men that God appointed to raise you, who are the prophets in the Isupk. All right? So, Jacob, now we're in Genesis chapter 29. Jacob goes to take wives. He works, Genesis 29 and 20, and Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days, for he had to love her. He loved her. He looking at her. She beautiful. He loved her. He liked talking and interacting with her. You understand? Now, he done worked out a deal with his father. He worked for 7 years. Jacob said unto Laban in verse 21, give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her. Go in unto her means to have sex with her, because sex is marriage. He said, give me my wife so that I can have sex with her and make her my wife. So they made a feast. They had a big dinner in verse 20. Verse 23, he lay down and have sex with Leah. The father sent the wrong daughter in to run game on him. And Laban gave Leah and Zilpah her handmaid. Verse 24, this is another sister that's down with you half of your life. You a little girl. She might be a little bit older, something. This is a sister helping you do things. You understand? She worked for your father. She there helping prepare dinner, helping water the flocks, take care of the sheep, the goats. She might teach you how to sew, teach you all kind of things, how to braid, take care of babies. Like, she's helpful around. She works for the father. The father's big, got a big house, bunch of wealth and power. He got daughters, he got sheep, he got all kind of things. So they got other sisters that help his daughters. She got a handmaid. You understand? The sister there with her every step of the way, so that you are not raising daughters. You're not living your life by yourself. A lot of our lives we live by ourselves because our family structure has been destroyed by the Christian church. Imagine you got a sister there that's down with you. This is your sister. Y'all ain't competing over OnlyFans accounts. Y'all ain't competing over no man. This brother getting ready to marry her and the other sister. He getting ready to marry all four of them and have a big, nice family filled with sons and daughters that's going to become all of us thousands of years later on. They wasn't, fighting in the streets at the job, all of this old kind of nonsense, beefing with each other on Facebook and Twitter, trying to fight at the Chuck E. Cheese and all this old kind of madness. They weren't doing that. They had sisterhood because we weren't in slavery and we were not Christians. Christianity ruined that. Now some sister trying to take the man away from you. I'm going to steal your man. All of this old kind of nonsense when, you understand, that's not necessary. You understand? It's not necessary. So I'm going to speed up some time. So what it says, Laban gave the brother, he gave Jacob, he was supposed to get Rachel. He lied and gave her Leah, which was the older daughter, and gave her Leah's handmaid Zilpah. You understand? So now he works another 7 years for the other daughter, which he really wanted. In verse 29, Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah, his handmaid, to be her maid. There's a sister, so that you are not just on your own. There's a sister here that she down with you. Where you go, she go. You understand? She rolling with you. This your sister. You ain't there by yourself. Like this sister with you. She helping making you better, making you stronger, making you shine. Y'all got a sisterhood together. This is ancient sisterhood. You can find that here. You can find that now at UPK. Not everywhere, not every sister like that. But then you got some sisters that's down with you. That she make you shine and she shine. And y'all have a family. And brother, that family is powerful. This brother had sisters like that. You got Bilhah. Now he got a wife and her handmaid. Now another wife and her handmaid. Now Jacob got 4 sisters. He got 4 different sisters, 4 wives. He only wanted one. The Lord had it worked out. Now he got 4 wives. These wives later have children. All right. Now we get into the children. Jacob has married all 4 of them. And when it came, verse 30, and when he went in also unto Rachel and loved Rachel also. Rachel more than Leah. He loved Rachel more than Leah because that's what he wanted. He wanted Rachel. And served him yet 7 other years. And the Lord saw that Leah was hated. He saw that he didn't really want Leah, but he not going to have sex with this sister and throw her away, which is a horrible thing. You know, I didn't want this sister. I didn't have sex with her. That ain't what I want. I really wanted this other one over here. So I'm going to get rid of you. You done. I'm done with you. Let me go get with her over here. That's evil as hell. He didn't do that to this sister. You understand? This wasn't the one that he wanted, but he didn't lay down and had sex with her. This is his woman. He would have. This is your family now. You can't just throw your family away. You understand? This is permanent. The father, he did something he was not supposed to do. He scammed the brother. He ended up having sex with the wrong sister. He did not throw this sister away. He kept her. Then he gave the handmaid. Before you know it, this brother got 4 beautiful wives, 15 children. You understand? Now they getting pregnant. Everybody getting pregnant now. Now you got the Lord opened her womb. One sister was barren. The Lord opened Leah's womb in Genesis 32. Leah conceived and bare a son. She got conceived. He had sex with her. She got pregnant. That's how it happens. And she called his name Reuben, for she said, surely the Lord have looked upon my affliction, and now my husband will love me. She wasn't feeling love. She went and gave him a baby. Now he got a boy. Boy is good and strong. This ain't even the wife that he wanted. But the Lord saw fit. Now he got a firstborn son, good, strong boy. Now he with Leah. He wanted Rachel, but Rachel ain't had no babies. So the Lord then blessed Leah, Leah having a son. Now, verse 33, and she conceived again and bare a son and said, because the Lord have heard I was hated, therefore given me this son also, called his name Simeon. 34, she conceived again and bare a son. Reuben is the father of the so-called Seminole Indians. Later on, they became the tribe of Reuben. Today is the Seminole Indians. They had many, many sons for thousands and thousands of years. Through the course of time, they left the Middle East through a captivity under the king of Assyria. Many of them came over to the Americas. Today, the tribe of Reuben, through biblical prophecies, which we break down many times over. Captain Katazai did a 4.5-hour 12 tribes lecture going through all of the archaeology and records showing who the tribes are all throughout the earth, learning about biblical prophecy and everything. Check that out. All right. So now she had a son. She had another son. His name was Simeon, or Shemaiwan in the Hebrew. Reuben is Ra'albon. Simeon is Shemaiwan. Shemaiwan is the father of the so-called Dominicans. That's who Simeon is. Today, Simeon is the tribe of the Dominicans, or the tribe of Simeon. This brother had sons and sons for thousands of years, and today they are the so-called Dominicans. Everyone from that male lineage traced back to this brother Simeon from the lineage of Jacob. She conceived again and bare a son, and now my husband will be joined unto me. He tearing that tail up. She getting pregnant every year. She getting pregnant. Son after son after son, tearing her up. Now, because I have borne him 3 sons, therefore was his name called Levi. Levi means joined unto me. 3rd son. Verse 35, she conceived again and bare a son. And he said, now will I praise the Lord. Therefore she called his name Judah and left barren. Called Judah. 4 sons. This ain't the wife, this ain't the sister that he wanted, but the Lord blessed his sister, opened up her womb, gave him son after son after son. She getting all the good tearing up that she can take. She happy. The kids is being born, got a nice big family. It's wonderful. Now we at Genesis chapter 30, verse 1. When Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister. Us wanting to have children was a glorious thing. You understand? And she said unto Jacob, give me children or else I die. She said, I'm going to die if you don't give me no children. She looking at her sister, the sister getting blessed son after son after son. He having sex with Rachel. Rachel is not getting pregnant. He having sex with Leah. Leah turning out sons left and right. Leah is a son-making factory. Now, the other sister getting jealous, looking why I can't have no children. What's wrong with me? Well, the Lord did not leave her without. Jacob's anger was against Rachel and said, am I in God's stead, who hath withheld thee the fruit of thy womb? He said, I'm in here tearing this thing up. This ain't my fault. The Lord is the one that's not giving you no children. I'm doing my job. The Lord that decided. So she said, now, okay. He said, behold, my maid Bilhah, go in unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her. Said, I got my handmaid, the sister that's been rolling with me probably half of my whole life, and left my father's house to come with me. Now, go marry her. Have sex with her, make kids with her, so that I can have surrogate children by her. Since the Lord did not give me any children, this sister alone being down, rolling with the sister. Now, the Lord going to bless this sister. And she gave him Bilhah. He go marry Bilhah, have sex with her. Soon as he have sex with Bilhah, tell Bilhah up. Jacob, Bilhah conceived and bare Jacob a son. You understand? Rachel said, God have judged me and have heard my voice and have given me a son. Therefore, his name is Dan. So she had a baby. His name was Dan. Or Don. Don means judge. That's where you get the prophet Daniel or Danya Allah. It means the Lord's judge. That's what Dan means. Shaphat also means judge. All right. And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again and bare Jacob a second son. And Rachel said, with great wrestlings I wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed, and shall call his name Naphtali. Salakia. Levi is the so-called Haitians today. Jacob is the so-called Afro-Americans, or the so-called Negro here in America, even though later they called everybody a Negro throughout the West Indian Islands. Even the native tribes were called Negroes if you weren't on a reservation after the 1800s. You understand? That's why many people that consider themselves so-called Afro-Americans, a nice bit of them, some of them are also, they are the tribe of Gad or Native Americans. Because if you weren't on a reservation, you were no longer considered a Native American thanks to our oppressor. That's why we have these prophecies here in the Bible bringing them out. So the sister Bilhah, he tearing Bilhah up now. Bilhah having a second baby. And Rachel said, I call his name Naphtali. Naphtali, the brothers from Argentina to Chile down in South America. That is the tribe of, that is who Naphtali is. And Leah saw that she had left bearing and took Zilpah, her maid, and gave her Jacob to wife. He said, listen, the oldest daughter that had the 4 boys said, I'm not having no more kids. You know, I'm not having kids anymore. The Lord is not giving me any more kids. Here, go and take this sister, marry her, give her kids too. She out here with us. So now, and it married the other handmaid, Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son. And Leah said, a troop cometh, called his name Gad. Gad is the father of the Native American tribes that are not Seminole Indians. You understand? The Cheyenne, the Arapaho, You understand? Many of the Creek, the Osage, the Lakota, the Navajo, all of the Native American tribes that are not Seminole Indians, they are of the tribe of Gad. They are now Zilpah. Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a second son. Jacob just tearing up all the tail. Everybody, faces in pillows, everybody getting tore up. He having another son. And Leah said, I'm happy, for the daughters will call me blessed. And she called his name Asher. You understand? She had another son, Asher. The father of the majority of South America is the tribe of Asher. From Colombia all the way to Uruguay, from Colombia to Brazil. All the natives down in there, the tribe of Asher, the Inca Empire, all down there in those mountains through the Andes in Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, Brazil, Uruguay, Paraguay, all down there in South America. You understand? That's the tribe of Asher, minus Naphtali, which is Argentina and Chile. All right? So now she have another son. You understand? And the last son that the sister had down here in verse 17, the Most High heard Leah, and Leah had another son, bare Jacob a fifth son. And Leah said, give me my hire, because he's given my maiden to my husband. You understand? And she called his name Isupk. Isupk is the father of the so-called Mexicans. You understand? The so-called Mexicans are the tribe of Isupk. We all came from the same father, but we had different mothers. But the father is who makes the family. The father reproduces the children. You understand? Hey, Shalom, Magun, y'all just talking up Puerto Rico. Talking up. We almost to Isupk. The young baby boy, we almost to Isupk. Just as Puerto Rico signs it. Shalom, Hebrew, y'all all right? And he said, now Leah has Issachar. Leah conceived again and bare Jacob a sixth son. He is tearing Leah up. He didn't even want to marry Leah at first. He wanted Rachel. But the Lord had another plan. Now imagine if he just threw Leah away. Imagine if he did like it is common to do because of Christianity in America. Imagine he had sex with the sister, say, you know what, I don't really want to be with you. You know what I'm saying? You know, this ain't going to work out. You know, I'm going to be over here, deal with your sister. I'm going to talk to this sister over here. You know, lose my number. Don't call me no more. Don't text me no more. Get it how you live. Like, that destroyed his sister. But instead, he kept the law. Did righteous and honorably by this sister. And the Lord blessed this brother with 6, 7 sons by this sister and her handmaid. You understand? So let's get some more. Now, in Leah, in verse 20, Leah said, the Most High God have endued me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons. And she called his name Zebulon. Zebulon is the Central Americans. You understand? From Guatemala to Panama, El Salvador, Ecuador, Nicaragua, Honduras. You understand? Costa Rica, Panama. That's the tribe of Zebulon. You understand? That's the range from the tribe of Zebulon down there. You know, this wasn't the wife that he wanted. Now he got 6 sons because he did the right and honorable thing for a heritage that later became all of us. You understand? Suppose he get this sister pregnant, have sex with this sister. She all sad, alone by herself. They've been thrown away like a pair of old damn tennis shoes. She's stuck with this baby. She decided to go and kill the damn baby. Before you know it, none of us are ever born. Because she like, man, this world is terrible. I'm nothing. I'm garbage. I'd have been thrown away. My husband done left me. I'm pregnant now with this baby, and I'm worth nothing to him or anybody else. Like, don't do that. Like, that's evil, and it's Christian. And we must be taught to not do this to each other. You understand? So now, we in Genesis chapter 30. And... so like where we all lost my place, opened up her womb. Zebulon. And afterwards she bare a daughter and called her name Dinah or Diana, for vindicated is what Diana means, or Dinah. You understand? So now he got sons, he got him a little girl, he got him a princess now. He got him a little girl. Most High have remembered, and God hearkened unto her and opened her womb, as she conceived and bare a son, and said, the Most High have taken away my reproach. And she called his name Joseph, or Yahweh-Sop. Yahweh-Sop is Joseph. Joseph went into captivity. His brothers sold him to slavery to the Egyptians. In Egypt, he had two children, Manasseh, which are the fathers of the so-called Cubans, and Ephraim, the father of the so-called Puerto Ricans, the tribe of Ephraim. You understand? The Puerto Ricans, all right? They come from this son, Joseph, or Yahweh-Sop. All right, so she had another boy. And it came to pass, you understand, she having these kids, and she called his name Joseph, which means the Lord added. That's what Yahweh-Sop means. In Hebrew, all of our names mean something. You aren't just Jimmy or Ricky or TT or Nikki, you understand, or Michelle or Jimmy or Richard, all of those silly names that's named after white people. In our language, in our culture, your name means something. You understand? Ana means something. Zaram and Kwadak, they mean something. You understand? Yerashimah, not the Zaknashah, Shawamar. You understand? Katham Gabar, Amun Gabar, Amawan Ya'ala, Kahuntam Yad, Tazayad, Malak. Our names mean something. We're not just Ricky and Timmy. Magun Amath means something. You understand? Diana and Naimya, they mean something. Ahawabath means something. Shara means something. Like, not only do our names have meaning in our language, it is about who we are as a person. It is about the spirit of the person. You understand? That's our language is tied into not just who we are, but our personality, our character. That's why if you know somebody black, Hispanic, Native Americans, we always give people nicknames. You understand? Pooh or Pookie, Black or Ray, Man, Kimmy, Smiley, Nisi. Like, we always give each other nicknames. You understand? Because it's spiritual. You understand? So now what we say here, he's in Laban's house getting everybody pregnant. He got sons, he got daughters, he got a nice big family. Now he's leaving with his cattle, his wives, his sons, his cattle, his servants, and money, a ton of money, because the brother was rich. You understand? Like Laban is like, everything is blessed. I'm getting rich. My son-in-law is making me absolutely rich. He done took all of these women just around my house complaining, needing a man. Now he going to take them all with him. This is wonderful. And he said, give me my flock, give me my sheep, my cattle, my horses, everything that I work for. Now we have 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. We have most of the tribes. The other two tribes, like I mentioned, are born to Joseph when Joseph is in Egypt. He has Ephraim and Manasseh. These are not Jacob's sons, they're Jacob's grandsons, but Jacob adopted them as his sons as he was dying. In, I believe, Genesis, the 49th chapter, as he was dying, he adopted his sons or his grandsons as his own. They make up the other two of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Of course, the daughter Dinah, she does not have a tribe because she cannot reproduce, because she does not have a seed, because a woman does not have the seed. Only a man has the seed to reproduce of that nation. All right? So now he's got the tree, he's got so much wealth, so much power, sons and daughters. You understand? The flocks, he's taking care of sheep, he's taking care of cattle. They're getting weak, they're getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So many cattle every goddamn where. Verse 43, the man increased exceedingly and had much cattle and maid servants, men servants, camels and asses. He got donkeys, camels. They are men that work for Laban because Laban is rich. If you got cattle, it's like everything Jacob touched, the Lord blessed. So if you got cattle and Jacob is watching your cattle will multiply. Your sheep, your goats, your cattle, everything is going to get pregnant so that you'll have more cattle. You'll need to hire more people to work on your land, to cut the leather, to back up the hay, to water, to feed them, to be your herdsmen, to take care of the sheep, to take care of the cattle, to take care of the horses. You are now getting filthy rich because the Lord has blessed this man. And now all of these people will come and work for you. You'll have so much wealth. You're selling steak, you're selling leather, you're selling fur and wool and garments. You're filthy rich now because the Lord blessed you with this son-in-law. And now he's rich because the Lord is blessing him. And Laban does not want him to go because he went from being well off and wealthy to now he's rich and richer and super rich. He has a golden goose, so to speak, which is Jacob. So now he doesn't want to let him go. So the Lord has to start punishing Laban. You understand? Because this brother would just work. He's saying, I want to go home. I want to take my wives and my children, all of my stuff. He's like, I can't let you leave the company. Like the company profits are up. I can't let you go. So the Lord started making Laban's cattle be sick. And Jacob separated the lambs and set the faces of the flocks toward the ring straight, all of the brown of the flock of Laban, and he put his own flocks by themselves. He divided up the cattle. Verse 42, but when the cattle were feebler, he put them not in. So the feebler were Laban's, and the stronger were Jacob's. You understand? It's Yahweh. He taking the best with him. I made you rich. You understand? He's wealthy. He's powerful. This is who the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel are. To get the rest about it, the 12 tribes breakdown, we have to do that in another class. But this is who the 12 tribes are. This is where we come from. We come from Jacob. You understand? This is our heritage. This is how we became what you see on that 12 tribes chart. You understand, on all of our signs, our flyers, things like that. To get more, you definitely want to contact the school in the city and state where you are. You watching classes. We have classes all over. But if you are in a city and a state, be sure to contact the school in your city and state. You understand? There's classes, there's high holy days, there's a camp leader that the Lord put in charge of every area damn near on the entire planet where we are. And it's important to be in contact with that camp leader so that you can check in and get the counsel and be seen, you understand, and be accounted for there in that place that the Lord has set up where you are. With food and all the resources and the council and the men in the army that the Lord set up in all of our lands. All right. So we'll get some more at another time. Just bring your questions to class. With that, we the Isupk. We start out at 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York. We're not affiliated with any other Israelite group. You understand? If you are not in the Isupk, you are not in the truth. We are only under Commanding General Yohanan. We're not affiliated with anybody. Upcoming high holy days is the Passover. Going to be on April the 15th in Cocoa Beach, Florida. Get your plane tickets, your hotel reservations, everything. No sweat, sis. Go ahead and check out the channel. You'll be able to see everything else there. Get your reservations, get everything there so that you can get down to the Passover to meet us in Florida. You definitely want to be there. You understand? Don't miss that. All right. So now we have, if a brother or sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They'll be saluted only. They are here to learn and shed themselves of the world. You understand? Brother, sister, make sure you come in, do your time, get your Hebrew name, make sure that you are accounted into the body, into the school. You understand? It's nice to watch classes and everything, but get all the way into the body. America is getting ready to go up in war on everywhere. Race war, civil war, world war, nuclear war. You understand? They already stormed the Capitol. But Donald Trump, wait until the grocery stores are empty and gas is $10 a gallon. And now they bring back the draft because this war in Russia then spilled into a war all over Europe. You understand? So you want to do that. All right. The brother sister has an interest in a particular person there to seek counsel from the head to speak to a brother and sister. Tithes is a commandment. 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives to you, you give to the school. Go right to isupk.com, put in your information. You know, it'll print you out a receipt. It'll mail it to you. You understand that's what you want to do. All right. Lastly, if any brother wants to become a trooper in the school, it'll be in all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, war scarf. Contact the school in your area, your city and state. Be sure to contact the school there. All right. All right. We're going to do one courtesy salute to the brothers. Y'all by Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatham. To the sisters, Yahweh Shemal Athon by Shem Yahweh Shai. The links to the playlist for the Bible is Black. So you can get more of that information the sister asks about posted in the chat. Race in the Bible, highlighting all the things about race in the scriptures. You understand? Just stay tuned there. The next thing that's going to be out. All right. In there, and the former of all things getting ready to happen there as well. That series start next week. The child molestation series, you understand, the series right here, the link in there as well. All right, with that, shalom.